Dragon's Dogma 2 just dropped an hour-long live stream showcasing its massive open world and character creation. But that's not all. We've got new information about new classes, boss fight mechanics, camping systems, pawns, and even the game's release date, which is a lot sooner than you might think, so let's dive right in. First off, if you're not aware, Dragon's Dogma 2 is a new single-player action RPG with deep combat, character customization, and role-playing systems like the famous pawn system of companion NPCs, which is returning from the original Dragon's Dogma game. Pawns are basically NPCs which follow you around throughout your time in the game, letting you design your very own band of adventurers. Now, from what we know so far, Dragon's Dogma 2 is also taking physics technology, artificial intelligence, as well as the graphics to the next level, and from what we've seen, the game looks absolutely amazing. I mean, just look at some of these landscapes in the background. Dragon's Dogma 2 is built on the RE engine. This has been used by Capcom for the Resident Evil franchise since about Resident Evil 7 or so, as well as the Monster Hunter Rise series, so it definitely looks familiar. But the scenery we were able to view in the recent livestream is also just amazing. It has a super realistic look down to the leaves of the trees. And the physics we saw were also surprisingly reactive as well. As you can see, the main character just pick up and throw an NPC across the screen, which is actually kind of hilarious. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of possibilities here for interacting with the world. Now, as far as the playable areas or the overall size of the game, it was revealed that Dragon's Dogma 2 is roughly 4 times the size of the original Dragon's Dogma game. The map is open world, so you can travel in any direction you want with very limited restrictions. We know of at least 3 major locations already. There's Vermund, the human kingdom. This is going to be the first area you explore as the game's protagonist. Then there's the Sacred Arbor, home of the elves. And finally, Batal, the nation of the Beast Wren, which is the game's beast race. Looks a little bit similar to Khajiit from like the Elder Scrolls series, if you're familiar with that. But in terms of the populations of these nations, it does seem like the NPCs will be very AI-driven, where travelers and merchants, soldiers, and other townsfolk are just gonna go about their daily lives with their own objectives and motives, and at times they might lead you to a quest by just approaching you and asking you for a favor. Now, if you have a pawn in your party with knowledge of that quest, they can also guide you on your way, and pawns might also be needed to translate for you if your quest giver happens to speak a language that you don't, such as the Elvish language, which is a pretty interesting mechanic, I think. There's even day and night cycles to the open world, and the nights do seem to be very dark, so you'll definitely want a light source with you for adventuring at night. We also know that campsites exist where you can rest and talk with your companions, level up, things like that. And for fast travel, we know of at least one option being the ox cart, which is something that you just get in, think you actually fall asleep, and then you're going to quickly arrive at your next destination. If you're wondering about character creation, Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely stepping up its game with photogrammetry technology for more realistic looking character models. Customization now includes the new beast race, which we mentioned, which has its own fur patterns and colors for unique appearances. Human characters also get detailed customization options. So the character creation in this game is going to be quite extensive. We also found out that the character creator in Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to let you create your main pawn as well. So that main companion that's going to be adventuring with you, also completely customizable. Speaking of pawns, there is a lot of customization there in terms of vocation and specialization. We mentioned already the language. Your pawn could be a language specialist and help you translate quests and dialogue from other NPCs. But the ideas with the pawns especially is that they are your team of adventurers and you get to build it exactly the way you want. Your group can consist of up to 4 members, so yourself, the main pawn which you've customized, which we already talked about, and then 2 more pawns which you're going to pick up out in the course of your adventures. Pawns have vocations just like the player does, so sort of like a built-in class, and you can obviously customize their gear and their skills to suit the overall team better. Now let's get into the vocations next, which are the jobs or the class types, in other words, which are available in the Dragon's Dogma universe. And so far for Dragon's Dogma 2, we know of at least 9, and this is going to include the fighter, the archer, thief, mage, warrior, sorcerer, magic archer, mystic spearhand, and the trickster. Now the last 3 vocations are going to only be available to the player character, not your pawns. So the Magic Archer, the Mystic Spear Hand, and the Trickster, one of these may be the best choice for you as your starting class, since you won't be able to get those skills and abilities anywhere else in your party. We did get a nice gameplay showcase of the Trickster Vocation, by the way, which seems to be more of a support combat style. It's going to allow you to buff your allies and confuse your enemies using smoke, basically constructing smoke barriers. We could even summon a smoke dragon that we saw in the gameplay. I definitely want to try this one out for myself. It looks very interesting. We also got a brief showcase of 2 other classes or vocations. We saw the Archer Vocation as well as the Thief, and the Archer looked great to me. They really streamlined the experience of using basic attacks and then combining those with specialized abilities when you need to. Basically, it seems like there are vocation skills which are tied directly to your class, and then also weapon skills as well, obviously based on the weapons that you're using. So the Archer had 2 skills called Loose and Steady Shot, and then they were able to switch to a second set of abilities using L1 on the controller, and those options were Sweep Shot, Barrage Shot, and Dire Arrow. So at least 5 skill options at once we know of for the Archer. We also found out that arrows are unlimited, but you can also find and use different types of arrows, like explosive arrows, for example. And if one of your pawns happens to be a mage, they can also cast magic arrows on you to buff your attacks for even more damage. We then got some gameplay of the Thief Vocation, which is a melee class focused on speed, maneuverability. This class was very fast, obviously, and had skills including Swift Step, Twin Fang, Carve, Helm Splitter, Biting Wind, Smoke Screen, and Powder Charge. If I had to guess, I would say the first 2 skills were based on the weapon type, because Twin Fang and Carve definitely sound related to the dual daggers the Thief was using at the time of the recording, and so the other 4 maybe are the class skills, but I can't confirm that quite yet. But that leads us into the combat showcase next, where things got absolutely insane, especially when it came down to the bosses in Dragon's Dogma 2. The first one we saw had definite Shadow of the Colossus vibes with the new giant Talos boss fight. The scale here is immense. We had destructible environments included, mounting mechanics, everything was on a whole new level in terms of engagement. We even saw the player jumping on a harpy to reach higher areas, jumping onto the Colossus at the same time. So it seems like there's several different approaches to how you want to tackle these massive bosses. The environment being engaged. I really liked how the boss interacted with the environment, knocking down walls, throwing a giant spear at times. We also saw a boss fight against a dragon, so mounting the dragon's back for a better vantage of attack seems to be a good strategy. And we also saw some team abilities or combination attacks like this spell, which looked amazing. Animations, the different spell designs, particle effects, those all looked fantastic as well. Really impressive overall with just the limited amount of combat that we were able to see. So Dragon's Dogma 2 is looking amazing. Of course, there are going to be pre-order bonuses, including superior weapons for each class, exclusive items like the Ring of Assurance and Explorer's Camping Gear. We got information on the Deluxe Edition, which is going to offer Rift Crystals, and these, I guess, help you hire more powerful companions from the Rift. I'm not quite sure how that works yet, but this update really just scratched the surface of what Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to have to offer. Seems like there's a lot to be excited about for this game, and the official release date is just a few months away, March 22nd, so it's coming up very quickly. If you want more details on starting classes, more mechanics and other features, I'll have links for those down in the description below. Let me know down in the comment section if you're excited for this game, what other questions you have, in case you want me to cover that in a future video. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you around in the next one.